Hi everyone, welcome to Border Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a replay sent to me from IMC Jimmy from 1AR Clan. IMC Jimmy in the French Tier 10 auto-loading heavy tank, the AMX 50B, and this is probably one of the best games I have ever seen. It's unbelievable. It's hard to believe it's Jimmy playing this one. IMC Jimmy from 1AR Clan, one of the executive officers. Hell of a nice guy, and he he streams regularly on Twitch, so be sure to check it out. Put a link in the video description below. Of course, the AMX 50B has got full gold rounds loaded. Gold rounds, 400 damage a shot, 325 penetration. As he cops a shot from the Sheridan, fires clutch back and doesn't manage to land the shot. The standard rounds, 257 penetration. APCR rounds, which are premium, 325 penetration, which should be plenty in this all tier 10 battle. As he looks towards those medium tanks, the Object 140, the Batchat, and there's a Sheridan E50M. There's everything down there. Moves along to the western flank of the map. Erlenberg it is. And he's just kicking back here. His gun's loaded now. It's a 4-shot auto-loader, the AMX 50B. About a second between shots, I reckon, from memory. As he starts to peek over the rise, looking for a cheap shot on one of those lightly armoured medium tanks. He's got the IS-7 to contend with as well. Just using the trees for a bit of camouflage and the hill for a bit of cover. Looking for a cheeky shot on these Russian medium tanks. That first shot put a beautiful shot, 349 hit points of damage into the Object 140. Had a bit of a brain fade there. Looking towards the Batchat. That'll be nice. Another 407 damage into the French auto-loading medium tank. The Batchat, the original Tier 10 Batchat. Easy money on the Sheridan. He gets spotted, pulls back because all those guns hit him. Of course, the AMX 50B, not known for its armour. Every now and then you're going to probably pull off a cheeky bounce. Now this shot's beautiful. Into the side of the mouse for 418. Even though it was angled, he was probably over-angled a little bit, the mouse. And IMC Jimmy putting a beautiful shot in there as he waits for his gun to reload. 1,547 hit points of damage so far. Just kicks back and waits here. He knows he's not in danger of getting hit from artillery. There's no artilleries in this battle, which is good to see. And the big AMX 50B, the big French Tier 10 heavy tank, pulls forward again. Looking for some cheeky shots. Looks like he might be looking towards the mouse again, but the mouse is behind that building. He knows there's some medium tanks and a Sheridan up there. There's the side of the mouse for 388 damage. Shoots him again. Looks like he might have tracked him, or at least critical hit the Tier 10 heavily armoured French heavy tank. He's got 2 bullets left. Let's see what he can do. He'd love to get the kill on that that E50M. He's down by a shot. They've lost their E100. It's all happening on the western side of Erlenberg. You can look at the mini-map. See all these other tanks on the other side of the map taking full control of the eastern flank, but it looks like there's no enemy tanks there to shoot, so it's good to have control of that side of the map. But when there's nobody left to kill, he doesn't land the shot in the E50M, and of course that last shot bounced like a flat lasagna on the Tier 10 German medium tank. The E50M, it's a bit like a heavy tank though, the E50M. It's got a decent amount of armour. Sometimes it can be challenging to penetrate, and he picks up a little bit of spotting damage on that mouse. 1,935 hit points of damage as that auto-loading French gun is just about reloaded with those APCR rounds. Full gold. Looking at that E50M again. E100 steals the kill. Critical hits the T57 on the side. Gets spotted, gets a shot into the Sheridan, pulls back again. Doesn't want to risk too much more health. He's only on 1,026 hit points. IMC Jimmy, I know it's hard to believe it's him playing this game. Gets a shot into the Sheridan, but cops another 485 hit points of damage from the mouse. He's on 541 damage, IMC Jimmy, as he waits for his gun to reload. Looking at the mini-map, they're going down a bit. That was the Batchat who was trying to do the same thing as the AMX 50B on this little hill. And these tanks, these enemy tanks here, if they push, then this AMX 50B is gone for all money, but they're not pushing. They're going to let him reload. Gets a shot into the back of the IS-7. That's very kind of the Tier 10 Russian heavy tank, and it goes straight through like a hot knife through spaghetti into the IS-7. 3-4's the score, 3,956 hit points of damage. The AMX 50B, the auto-loading French Tier 10 heavy tank, is using this dead Batchat for a bit of cover, and he needs to. Luckily, there's no artillery. I reckon if there was artillery, the artillery driver would be licking his lips and saying this should be a pretty easy kill. 3-4's the score. As he looks at the IS-7, misses the first shot. He's not going to move, is he? Second shot misses as well. What the hell is going on here? Third shot doesn't miss. Picks up his first kill of the game, getting rid of the Tier 10 Russian heavy tank, and he's not going to go back and clip. He's going to put a nice, powerful shot straight into the rear end of the T-57, and that T-57 will definitely be feeling it. He'll be counting his lucky stars, though, because he only had one shell left to put into the back of the auto-loading Tier 10 American heavy tank. That's even the scoreboard up at 5 apiece. 4,583 hit points of damage, plus a little bit of spotting. And it looks like the mouse is aiming towards the object 140, but that Sheridan, you can't let an opportunity like that go. The lightly armoured American light tank puts a shot into the Sheridan. 2 shots into the mouse. One more won't finish him off, but it will put the mouse down to a 1 shot, and the E100 finishes the job, getting rid of the mouse. A very dangerous tank. It's been buffed. Both the enemy mouses have been killed, and IMC Jimmy, with his 1 kills on 6,165 hit points of damage, is absolutely on fire as he waits for that French gun to reload. Looking forward now as he waits for his spaghetti bolognese to cook. He's aiming towards the grill 15. Bounces the grill. How did that happen? Gets second shot, doesn't bounce though. Aims for the turret. The turret's the weakest part of the German Tier 10 light destroyer, and that last shot set him on fire. Gave him an extra 249 damage for the fire, and brings his total damage count up to 7,663 hit points. But they're still only up by 1 tank on Erlenberg. 6-5 the score as he waits for that gun to reload. He's got that E100 and the T-57 right in front of him. If those 2 heavy tanks pushed, then the AMX 50B would be gone for all money. The Panzer Kampfwagen 7 goes down, so does the E100. It's back to an even ball game. And IMC Jimmy can't believe I think he just might have even bounced another shot on the Sheridan. See how brave that Sheridan is on 400 odd hit points. He gets spotted again. There's a T-57 heavy as well as an E100 there. Starts pinging for help because the AMX 50B as well as that Object 268 are the last line of defence on this western flank. These tanks still just sort of kicking back over here. They're all getting held up by this mouse, and of course these big guns back on the ridgeline at sort of B2, C2. There's some pretty heavy guns aiming their way. Looks like the Sheridan is trying to tempt the AMX 50B over the rise or around the corner, and unlike earlier where there was a lot of friendly tanks in this region, there you go, there's kill number 2. Still got 2 shells left. Unlike earlier when there was a lot of friendly tanks around this building, that's where the enemy tanks were focusing on, and that's how his AMX 50B managed to get some damage in. Cops a shot from the E100. It's HE, and HE was never going to do enough to the AMX 50B. If that E100 had had a normal AP or an AP or a heat round loaded, then that AMX 50B would have been sent straight back to the garage, but he didn't. He was going for the high explosive round, which is, I don't know what he was thinking, but IMC Jimmy will take it. 8,500 damage now. He's down to 215 health. Loving the back of this ridge line as that French gun is just about loaded. He gets spotted. I don't think it was the Object 140. The Batchat 25T was probably around there somewhere. It's probably the only tank left on the western side that would outvision him. You can see a bit of a skirmish happening up in the north. The mouse and an Object 140 against the Batchat and a Patton. These tanks still quite happy just to kick back in the town. But to be fair, we can't see what health they're on. That FV215B 183 and the TW1 OE5 could be flat as attack. Flat like fettuccine, you might say. IMC Jimmy aiming towards the FV4005. That will be a nice juicy target with the French gun. He's on 1,000 hit points. He's not anymore. 2 shots into him. If this third, someone steals the kill. He's still got 2 shells left. 2 shells would certainly take the Stritzwagen 103B down to a very, very manageable level. Somebody else hit him there, takes him down to 290 hit points. 11-9's the score, 9,247 hit points of damage done by IMC Jimmy. He'll be loving this like he loves bolognese. 12-9 is the score, 9,247 damage done, a little bit of assisted damage. Surely that's enough for an ace tanker. And he'll be thinking, I'll be setting this one in to get on board studios at stewiejp. On Erlenberg, he's looking, he doesn't know where the bat chat is. That's the only reason he's hesitating. We know where the object 140 and the mouse is. We have no idea where the bat chat is. That object 140 is still on 1,226 health. And we're not quite sure what health the mouse is on, because he's just outside. There he is, 2,261 hit points on the mouse. Look out for the dead tank. That dead tank, to be fair, he was behind a broken tree. So it would have been pretty hard to see. And have a look at this beautiful looking French tank. I haven't got one yet. The AMX 50B with its 4-shot autoloader. IMC Jimmy's clipping now. Wants to get in there with a full clip because he's seen the hit points of that mouse on over 2,000. Down to 1,800 now, but it looks like those enemy tanks, friendly tanks, are really cleaning up. Not so much on the mouse. There you go, the side of the turret. That shouldn't be too hard to penetrate. Puts the shell in. He's got 1 shell left, takes him down to a 1-shot, and the bat chat picks up the kill. And in the end, look at that damage, 10,061 hit points of damage. An absolute ripper from IMC Jimmy in the AMX 50B, as we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results. It's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for IMC Jimmy in the AMX 50B, the 4-shot auto-loading French heavy tank, the Hand of God, Bruiser, Fire for Effect, the High Caliber, and of course the Confederate Medal for shooting more enemy tanks than anybody else. And have a look, he shot more than half the enemy team quite comfortably. As we look at the second page of the post-game battle results, 10,061 hit points of damage, 39 shots fired, 31 hit, 10,061 damage. A little bit of assisted damage too, and that was enough for the ace tanker. But have a look at this part. Even with a premium account, cost him 116,500 credits after repairs. But more importantly, after ammunition. Ammunition cost him 187,000 credits. But I'll tell you what, not a bad game at all. 10,061 hit points of damage. That's IMC Jimmy. He loves his AMX 50B like he loves bolognese. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the replay, Jimmy. Take care and see you all next time.